work with us this journey. So we shall arrange that team by the end of today. We shall agree which date we are going to the factory, and we see the processes ongoing there. So thank you. Can we wrap this up?
Mr. Chairman, I just thought the neater way to wrap it up. What is being questioned is not identification, electronic identification. It's the issue of complementarity. So our ending note should be, it's quite clear that the primary method is electronic. The issue now left open for the court is the complementarity, so that we are clear and we move on. And we'll appreciate short, precise interventions, short, precise answers, so that we can finish.
Just one last thing, Mr. Chairman. It is on record that in 2017, 2.5 million voters were not identified through the KIMS kits. And those KIMS kits in 2017 were still new. We have been keeping them in storage for the last 5 years. We have already been told that 4,000 of them are defective. 4,000 out of 46,000 is a big percentage. So therefore, we really are not saying we are opposed to technology. In fact, we are not saying that technology should not be applied. But what should be noted also is that our elections are not 100% technology-based. Technology is a small part of this election. The rest of the election, by law and by practice, is actually manual. The casting of the vote is manual. And a big part of it is actually the casting of the ballot. So therefore, we are not saying we have a problem with technology at all. We also know, Mr. Chairman, that these gadgets...
Are we reopening the conversation again?
No.
On the
it's just to expand the areas of conversation. And, these gadgets will be used by human beings. They will not use themselves. And we have a concern, Mr. Chairman, concerning the personnel that has already been appointed by this commission. That concern was expressed by our presidential candidate in his letter to the commission on the 5th of this month. Mr. Chairman, we have noted some very worrying trends with ethnic imbalance of returning officers both at the county and at the constituency level. This country is a country of at least 50 ethnic groups. 50 ethnic groups. But we have noted that out of 47 county returning officers, nearly 10 are from one community. Out of 47.
Give some direction here.
Out
because
of 200.
What you are raising now is a totally new issue, which we have no problem discussing, but I thought we need to move in a structured manner. Let's finish with the agenda of the day, then we can address that issue. And I remember addressing it in the correspondence between Azimio and ourselves. We can revisit it now and make clarity on it, but I suggest we finish the agenda of the day. Yes. Yeah, then we can deal with that.
That's an issue we want to put on record today.
Yes, I have no problem with that. We are here for you. But let's just finish the issue of the results path, then we can take a note of, you can complete that line. Thank you. Yeah, Marjan, please proceed on the result path. Then if you have any other question, please hold it so that we can move in a structured manner. I agree that the primary identification is the biometric. The commission will prepare the registers because we don't have time to wait for the outcome of the court. We shall run out of time. The decision then to make is subject to the court judgment or ruling, whatever will come out. is whether to use the register in the manner we used 2017, or whether we shall have the register at the polling stations, and if it's required, if the KIMS kits fail, then the commission will have to make a decision whether to use it or not. I think those are areas we can revisit when the matter comes up in court. So, Marjan, proceed. I'm trying to move this meeting forward, and I know we have the ladies and gentlemen in this room, we want to run out and start seeing your voters out there, so we don't want to be here the whole day. Is it about the register?
Chairman, and I do apologize that I had to interrupt, but I appreciate the fact that you agree that you will prepare to have the manual register as a backup, as a secondary document, should the courts uphold and extend their current interim orders. But as we say that, we need to agree on what are the protocols, because by the time you escalate to fall back on the secondary document, which is the manual register, it should be agreed that this will happen. All agents will have agreed, it's escalated to this level, and approval will come at this level. So it's just not there for you when people feel like it. There has to be protocols agreed here on that point. So I hope we'll work on that going forward. Thank you.
Your comment is noted. Thank you.
I wanted somebody to project the...
And briefly, not much detail, just yeah.
Very brief. Thank you very much. So it's about the results part. So what normally will happen after voting has been done, counting has been completed, the results from 34A is going to be filled by the presiding officer after the counting, and this results is going to be confirmed by the agents. Once they confirm, then the returning officer, the presiding officer, and the agents will sign the Form 34A. After signing the Form 34A, the presiding officer will now launch the results transmission application, and after that, they will capture the image of the Form 34A and transmit the Form 34A to the National Tallying Center as well as the Constituency Tallying Center. And thereafter, the presiding officer will give copies of the Form 34As to all the agents. One copy is going to be pasted on the ballot box. One copy is going to be pasted at the door of the polling station. And after that, the presiding officer will then now move physically with the physical documents, that is the Form 34As, to the Constituency Tallying Center. The Constituency Tallying Center returning officer is going to receive the Form 34As, and of course, before that, we would have been in a position to access the images of what was scanned before and sent at the polling station. So through our backend system, the returning officer is in a position to access the images of the Form 34As for the respective constituency. The returning officer, even as they are waiting for the physical copies to come, they will basically populate the information using the image to the Form 34B. Form 34B is a collection of all the Form 34As. Once all the polling stations have been populated, we will use now the physical copy to verify again entry one by one. The physical copies received will be used to verify all entries in each and every polling station in presence of the political party agents. Once that one now is done, then the agents again will sign the Form 34B plus the returning officer and the deputy returning officer. Then from there, the physical copies again will be taken by the returning officer to the National Tallying Center returning officer, who is the chairman. And I wanted to just state maybe what is going to happen at the tallying center. We will have of course, when the presiding officers goes to the constituency tallying center, they will go with 6 ballot boxes, presidential, governor, and the rest. So it will be expected that he will have to work and make sure that all those announcements are basically made for each and every polling station, because the returning officer for each and every polling station results come, he must be able to announce that. And therefore, will be expected to announce all of them. But because of the importance of the presidential results, this time that's why we have recruited two deputy returning officers. So the returning officer can now be relieved to take the physical copies to the national returning officer. And the national returning officer also will be in a position to access the scanned image of the Form 34S. And also, if they want, they can be able to start preparing their Form 34C. But a suffice to say that Form 34B, the soft copy, will also be scanned and also be transmitted to our backend servers. And therefore, what is going to be available for the purpose of public and for the purpose of stakeholders is going to be the scanned copies of Form 34As as well as Form 34Bs. And at the National Tallying Center, they will be handing over and taking over of the physical forms that have been received from the returning officers. The chairman and of course his team, they will actually use the Form 34Bs that have been brought to them to verify all the entries of the polling stations using the physical Form 34As. And after verifying all of them, they will now be able to prepare Form 34C. Of course, as they do that, they pay attention to any errors that may actually occur. These errors are going to be recorded in error collection form, and this report is also going to be presented. In essence, the National Returning Officer must satisfy himself that all the entries in the Form 34Cs have been physically verified by the Form 34As, and that the agents present are also going to validate the same. And finally, then the Form 34C is going to be signed by the National Returning Officers, as well as the political party agents. It's only after that then the chairman can be able to declare who is the winner. Suppose there is no winner because no one has met the 50% plus one margin and the 25% of the majority county. Then it means that a runoff is going to be there, and the chairman is going to declare accordingly that in the next 30 days, then there's going to be a runoff. So that's a simple projection in terms of how the results is going to be sent from one point to the other. Thank you very much.
In all this, what we are saying as a commission is that all the presidential candidates, we are encouraged to have agents in all polling stations. Your agents will have copies of the results. Please train your agents. Find a way of also doing your own tabulations. We also had a meeting with the media, a fraternity who will be deployed in the 290 constituencies. For purpose of transparency, the results belong to the people of Kenya.